Hello, I'm an 8th grader. I'm Phạm Trần Bảo Châu, and I'm a Vietnamese student.
Please start your speech when you're ready.
Okay. Speech starting 3, 2, 1. The education rights state that education, at least in elementary and fundamental stages, should be free for all children, regardless of their background. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic has taken away these rights from many disadvantaged children and has also prevented them from receiving a quality education. Remote learning is not accessible to everyone. It has already been extremely difficult for children living in rural areas to go to school, but now it is even harder for them to continue their education. They need sufficient access to stable wireless connection, decent technology devices, and a suitable learning environment to focus well in class. They also need to learn how to use those technology devices, since most have probably never used one before. However, those needs aren't fulfilled yet. Most students in disadvantaged communities don't even have a computer, so they have to learn through a tiny phone screen. Besides, they live in rural areas, so it is particularly hard for them to connect to the internet. For example, students in rural India are denied access to modern technology and online content that urban Indians get to enjoy daily, according to the Financial Express. In short, the price to gain access to a proper education becomes so costly that the rural students could not afford. Subsequently, they couldn't buy the infrastructure and technology required for remote learning, thereby affecting their ability to fully absorb the lessons. Thus, the underprivileged students who are worse off couldn't possibly catch up with the privileged ones. Furthermore, lots of students in rural areas only go to school to have free lunch. However, according to the SDG Report 2020, school closures induced over 370 million children to miss out on school meals. Accordingly, those students do not have any incentive nor energy to study since they are hungry. Hence, they help their parents with chores instead, so that their parents can focus on working and thus can provide them with food. This has led to lots of rural students dropping out. Even worse, the COVID-19 pandemic not only affects students in rural areas, but also affects students worldwide, since most families struggle financially due to the pandemic, causing them to cut down on their spending. Nonetheless, a lot of schools still charge the same amount of tuition fees during remote learning. Consequently, a lot of students have to drop out of school during the pandemic. In addition, digital learning is extremely tiring. Lots of research have shown that prolonged periods of sitting could lead to fatigue and other health problems. Moreover, looking at the digital screen for a long time could strain and damage the students' eyes. As a result, it is especially difficult for students to endure and focus. On top of that, school becomes much less exciting as online classes lack interaction and activities. Eventually, this results in a loss of interest and motivation in learning, causing the efficacy of the lessons to decrease. To provide evidence, a study in 2020 on Florida public school coursework conducted by Susanna Leib, a professor at Brown University, and her colleagues has shown that online course taking was much less effective. In conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic has disproportionately deprived rural students of their education rights and overall hampered students' education, making it extremely hard for us to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, quality education. Thank you.